Hi everyone, Katie here. Welcome back to another layout video. So today I am doing something a little different, or I'm showing something a little different because I do two mixed media backgrounds. I start off here with my distress oxide. I have two pictures from the beach, and I have this stencil. Let's see, I don't remember what it's called. It says thecraftersworkshop.com. I got it from scrapbook.com. So I'm taping it down to a piece of basil marshmallow cardstock, and I am using my distress oxides to push ink through the stencil and ink blend with my foam dome blending tools. So here, what I have right now is the broken china. I have stormy sky and cracked pistachio. Those are the three that I will push through this stencil. And as you can see, I have majorly sped up this video because right now what I'm working on, while I do like it, I don't end up using it for the photos that you see off there to the right side. Now I will say, just through ink blending here, the distress oxide is awesome. It blends in. I can use that foam tool just so easily to coat and get, a nice thick layer of ink. So I've been really happy with that. Now what I'm doing is just kind of going along randomly. My whole idea is kind of to mimic a sort of beachy, tropical sky, ocean kind of vibes. Now obviously I'm not trying to do that perfectly. So just repeating the colors here. And then I'm going to try a new technique where I actually will put ink all over top of everything that I'm doing right now. It is something that I saw another YouTuber do and I wanted to try out. So that is what I am doing after I get all my colors blended in here together. And then I get ready to use the weathered wood distress oxide. Now, when I saw the other YouTuber do this, she used a black ink, and I do think that would have been better. And now I really love how this turns out. And I was like, man, do I really want to try this new technique and go over it? Let me see how well will it even go over. And it works pretty well, so I'm like, okay, you know what? We're just going for it. So I am putting the weathered wood all over everything I just did. And because it's the distress oxide, what's going to happen is I am going to use my Stickles glitter gel. Now, I think if you have other kind of like glitter paste or glimmer paste or whatever it is you use, it might end up working a little bit better. It does work. I will say it works. But it will actually, when you put the glitter paste or gel or whatever it is you have over top of your completely covered up ink blended stuff, the distress oxide will kind of pull up and the color will show through the darker color on top. And I will say it does kind of work. It does not work as well as I want it to. But again, when I saw this, I wanted to try it. So, there's no harm in trying something new. And I do think it turns out pretty nicely for a layout. It does not make it for my beach layout, but I think it ends up being cool enough that I will still use this background, just not the way I originally intended. So I have two little jars of this Stickles glitter gel. This is a nebula, and as you can see, one of my jars is running low. So when in doubt, just scoop it out, right? So I scoop it out with my fingers just to make sure that I'm getting every last bit of this stuff on my layout. And I love it. It's sparkly. It's got glittery stars. It's got big sparkles. It's perfect. Then when I'm opening my new jar, though, it does spread a lot more nicely with my little palette knife here. Now you can already see the blue really comes through this gel very nicely, like the broken china blue. I'm not sure what it was about that, or maybe I put more of it down, but I think you can really see that blue color coming up through the gray. ink, which is really just what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the color kind of transform in there. I let it dry, and this is how it turns out. I decide that's not very beachy, and I want to try again. I'm going to keep this piece that I used, but I think of this as more of a nighttime or wintertime layout. I don't know. It didn't look very beachy to me, so I am getting my colors back out. This time I'm using another one, and you can see I'm going in a different pattern. I have my broken china, cracked pistachio, stormy sky, and I get out mowed lawn, which mowed lawn is more of a, lime kind of green. Well, it's kind of like a grass green. Surprise, surprise. So I'm getting those out and just blending through that same stencil. I did clean off my stencil. I just used a baby wipe, and it came perfectly clean, which was awesome. So as you can see, my little circle is kind of lopsided in the blending, and I'm sorry that the camera's shaking so much. But that's okay. I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be uneven. I didn't want it to look like, a page that I just bought. So I'm making sure it doesn't. I'm making sure it looks like something that I have created. And I really like how this turns out. Again, the best part is when I peel off the stencil and you get to see it for the first time. I mean, it is awesome. But I must say, I don't really like how I've done that very center circle. So I know I want to cover that up because it just didn't turn out how I wanted. But there on the actual paper, I think it turned out really nicely. I love all the colors together. And I'm sorry I'm not showing it to you. I'm just cleaning up, which is an important step in the process. So here we go. Now here is my paper. And like I said, I love all these colors. I really like the stencil. But I did think it was a little too, perfect. Crisp lines, white. So it needed some splatters. I pull out my Delusions ink spray, and this was vibrant turquoise. So it just adds a few little splats, makes it, a little imperfect. I like it much better that way. So I'm arranging my photos. I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to make this work? I know I want to map my photos, so I'm pulling out my 6x6 paper pads, and I've got a lot that are nearly finished. This one here from Echo Park, it is the Lost in Neverland collection, which let me tell you about something I never thought I would ever use, which is the Lost in Neverland collection. But I got it in a warehouse box, this 6x6 pad, and while nothing I've ever done has been remotely related to Peter Pan or fairies or Lost Boys or anything like that, I have one piece of this paper left. Just one. Because I use this nice dark navy paper to be a photo mat. And you might think that's a waste of paper, but I think it's much more wasteful to have it sitting in my room and never get used. So that's what I do. Now I pull out my Thickers little ruler here. It's in a nice wave already, so I'm going to be using my stamps actually to stamp out the word waves in a wave shape. I'm using these Heidi Swapp stamps. They are a new set from her shop, and they have like a double alphabet, and one of them creates a shadow while one of the alphabets creates a, like a more bold, solid letter that you can read more easily. So they're like letters with shadows. And again, I'm using my Distress Oxide. This time, Weathered Wood is like the shadow, while my Chipped Sapphire is the bold letter. And you know what? Now that it has all completely dried, I really see how the oxides have mixed in together, even the ones on the background below it, and it really creates a very neat effect. It's like you can see where every single color is and what every single shape is. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Go ahead and check it out. Layer yourself some Distress Oxides and see what I'm talking about. But if you look really closely, you can tell that I'm not so great at lining up the shadow and the bold letter yet. So know that that's something, at least for me, that takes a little bit of practice. I've only had the stamp set a few days now. So don't look too closely. But that's okay. I don't feel like it ruins my page by any means or messes anything up. And, I'm not going to redo my creativity because this is how it is. And if I was learning at this point, then I was learning, and that's okay. Now I'm continuing to use this wave ruler and my glitter jelly roll pen to create some journaling lines. I don't have a whole lot to say, just that it was, oh my gosh, such a beautiful day at the beach. It was cold, or cool, I should say. So it was a beach walking day, not a beach sitting day. But man, it was so pretty, and I will take a nice beach walking day any day. So, that's about all I have to say there in my journaling. And I know it's definitely not finished. This layout is not finished. There is a lot going on. There is a lot of color, but it just feels bare to me. So I'm going to pull out a few of my embellishments. I have a whole drawer full of like summertime beachy things. And the first ones I pull out are these dimensional stickers. I think they came from Paper House, or maybe, oh no, it's Me and My Big Ideas. And I know that they're an older set. I can't tell you what they are or where they came from, but they are Me and My Big Ideas, the soft spoken collection, I suppose. And I don't have many of them. Not too many came on a little page, so I want to use them up. And they seem quite appropriate. This big one that I put in the middle says Making Waves. It also covers up that part of the mixed media that I really didn't care for right there in the center. And then on the side I put the 3 words surf and sand. And that, again, seemed very appropriate for my wavy day beach walking page. I grab a cute little Paper House Productions pineapple and some Jolie's Boutique. I tried to put these little fish on here, and one makes it on there, but I felt like the other ones kind of blended in too much, and this isn't a layout about fish. This is a layout about the beach. So I didn't want to put too many on there. But again, it just doesn't feel complete. So I pull out my beachy ephemera box, and I thought maybe I'll make some cute little frames to put behind my photos. You know what? But ultimately I decide, I really like this tall gold palm tree, and this word tropical, also in gold foil, really, I think, looks nice, and I do think this is a very tropical scene. And then I kind of think of my title now as Tropical Waves rather than Waves just down at the bottom. It's kind of a split title for Tropical Waves, subtitle Surf and Sand maybe. And I know that everyone who sees this might not read it that way, but you know what? That's okay. It just doesn't bother me. That's how I read it, so, I like it that way. So I think it also brings your eye up to the top of the layout a little bit, letting you see some of that mixed media and not just keeping the bottom so incredibly heavy, which I just like how it looks. And that's what it, matters to me. So I pop up just those 2 elements, and then other than the 3D stickers, everything else is flat on my layout, which is a little different. But there you have it. I'm adding one more element. I thought, this needs to be framed in. So I draw one kind of wavy line. I didn't want it to be perfect. So as you can tell, I kind of like wave my hand a little bit as I'm drawing it. And I decided it does need a second one to really frame in my layout. After adding just a few more splatters, I will finish up my layout here. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.